First of all, I didn't know you were allowed to talk. Okay.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Goomba Johnny has been a friend of ours for so many years. And, he's one of those friends where you can lose touch with him for a little bit, and then when you see him again, it's like it was yesterday and you saw him.
Right.
Last time I saw him, my husband Alex and I sat next to him at your 50th birthday celebration, Danielle.
He performed and he was fantastic.
Goomba Johnny's just the nicest guy, and how blessed are we to have him here today. Hi,
thank you.
Goomba Johnny.
Thank you. It's so great. And I got to meet Gandhi for the first time at your birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
And I never even told you. Your husband called me up.
Yeah.
And first of all, your husband, you married a great guy.
Yes, thank you.
All right, you.
Aw,
No, really, you
Thanks.
you did the right thing. That guy. And Elvis introduced you to him.
Yes.
He was in England, right? You met him in England.
Well, he's British. He was supposed to be mine.
Yeah.
Because he was British, and I think all British guys are gay, so I thought he was all mine. And then he says, "Hey, not my cup of tea."
Well, the story I got that you were in England and he was selling fish and chips on the corner.
Okay, I'll take it. All right.
And you went up to him and said, "Look, there's a girl from the Bronx who comes from a wealthy family.
What? Wealthy family?
I can get you out of selling fish and chips. Would you like to come to New York?"
Okay.
And we imported him. That's exactly what happened. I didn't want to tell you the truth.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't handle the truth. But yeah, Goomba's been a part of our family for so many years, and
There's so many connections.
Right.
Me and you and David and Danielle and I are from the Bronx, and we worked together in the studios for so long.
But I will tell you this, Johnny. Out of all the years we've known you, and Danielle, of course, has been really close to you, she found out something on your bio.
I can't believe it.
And it freaked her out. She's over there crapping her pants. Tell him what you saw.
So it says Johnny signed as a free agent in professional football with the New York Jets and then with the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Although both opportunities were a dream for him, he had to retire because he got a neck injury.
Really?
Yeah, I had a neck injury. There was two reasons why I didn't make it in the NFL. Number one, I didn't have the talent.
Okay, there's that.
Okay.
No, I mean, it was very competitive. I came from a very small college. I was told when I signed my first contract with the Jets, I was the first person to ever sign a contract out of that college.
Wow.
And the second contract with the Giants, I got hurt in a scrimmage against the Patriots.
Of course, the Patriots.
Yeah.
Oh my
but,
God! The things you find out about your friends you never ever knew.
No
I
idea.
have pictures on Instagram of me in my uniform.
I guess I don't go.
You got to look.
Are you still wearing your uniform? Are these new pictures?
For Halloween.
Okay.
I do.
So, Anthony Rodilla is out on the road, of course, and he refuses to leave home without Goomba Johnny on stage with him.
Yeah.
He's on a golf trip now.
Is he golfing?
Yeah, he's He doesn't look it, but he's a tremendous athlete.
Okay.
I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but he's one of those guys that's just good at everything, and it's annoying. You know what I mean? We go to these arcades, and he wins prizes and this and that, and usually they throw him out. Like if he goes to a fair, they'll throw him out.
Why?
Because he wins everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That
is annoying. I hate
He's
it.
one of those guys that knows how to circumvent all these games.
They call it skill.
Yeah. Cheating?
Well, no, but the thing is, let's be honest. The first person who cheats at these carnival games are the people running the game.
True.
So you have to learn how to cheat the cheater.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's done that,
Yeah.
and that's what you Italians are great at doing.
It's an Italian thing.
Yes, I said that.
That's
It's always an Italian
Said the
thing.
Scottish guy who's boring and has no good food in his background.
No. First of all, I'm half Polish, and I'm half Sicilian.
Yeah.
And that was like a big issue in my family. My mother had 7 brothers, and the smallest one was 6'1", 220, 6'5", 260. I had uncles. And the Sicilian side was small, so my mother would come up to me. She goes, Johnny boy, you don't think you got those shoulders from your father's side, did you? She goes, you're big and strong like that because you're half Polish. And then my father would walk by and goes, Johnny boy, you don't think you got your brains from the Polish side, did you?
Oh my God!
I'm like, I'm just glad it's not reversed.
There's
That
that.
I got the Sicilian shoulders and the Polish brains.
You're doing okay.
I'm very happy.
Are you still having fun out on the road and doing these shows? I know we have to talk about a local show in a few minutes.
Yeah, no, but me and Anthony have been traveling for 3.5 years, and I have to tell you, we both laugh. We call each other's our work wives. And like scary, like you forget things. Like I know you forgot your stuff today.
Your luggage in the Uber.
I heard it. I heard it. Yeah. And you know what they say? What you leave in Uber stays in Uber. Right.
True.
Really?
This is true.
He was going to Las Vegas,
Wait,
right?
he just got it back though. Did you meet your Uber driver?
Yeah, he was so nice. He woke up from a dead sleep.
Because you gave him $100.
I spiffed him $100 for coming from Queens from a dead sleep to drive all the way to Midtown Manhattan in traffic.
So now
to give
you
him
don't have to go to Target on the Strip in Las Vegas. You're good. You're good.
Once again, you demonstrate the power of radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned something on the radio, forget about it. It's another thing you don't know about. My father was a police officer in the Bronx for 27 years. Right. So I didn't turn out exactly the way he wanted me to. But he used to tell me that he would get calls that the kids would be on the bridge and the Circle Line would come under and they would pee on the Circle Line.
Yeah, by the way, if you're wondering, the Circle Line is like the tour boat that goes down the Hudson River.
So all the tourists would be on
They would
there.
pee on the tourists?
They would pee off the bridge onto the tourists. And,
What happened to everyone in the Bronx? We hurt you guys.
Oh, man.
me and Danielle grew up like animals. We're animals.
Absolute monsters.
You've heard Danielle's stories about in high school, the fights they had with the other girls on the school bus?
You put the lemon underneath your fingernails.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because then it would would sting when you
When you scratch them.
Yeah, I didn't grow up far from her. I grew up on Seymour and Gun Hill, and I grew up right down the street from Holy Rosary. I went to Catholic school, and
You still living that life?
no, I go to church every day.
You
I do.
Absolutely do.
I go to church every day at 8:30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I've been doing that since I'm 50.
What happened? Did something happen, or you just decided it's time for me to go to church every day?
You know what? I told my wife. I said, "Look, I want to go back to church on Sundays," and I said, "I don't want to be like a BS Catholic." I said, "I'm going to see if I can go every Sunday for a year, and at the end of the year, I'll go to confession and get communion." And I was able to do that, and I started to go, and I started to like it, and I started going every day. I'm not a big fan of the church. I just feel like it's important to have a relationship with Christ.
So it's you. So this is, which I think is the best way to approach it. It's not about this institution. It's about you and your.
I have a lot
your
of
relationship with
Christ.
God.
Yeah, I have a lot of problems. We could sit here all day and talk about everything the church has been on the wrong side of.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't agree with a lot of things they've done or a lot of their policies, but still, that's where Christ is, and that's where I go, and I get the sacrament every day, and that makes me feel good about myself. And, I pray for my mom and dad who passed. And, sometimes I leave there, I feel great. And sometimes I leave there, I feel angry. I mean, a lot of stuff happens where you.
But you're feeling something, and that's the whole point. So, Johnny, you said you started going back at 50 daily. Yeah. Can you track how your life has changed since you started going back?
I definitely inspect myself first.
Explain that to everyone.
So, in other words, if there's a problem with somebody else, an argument and somebody else, I look at what my role is in it first. My dad used to say to me, and I didn't get it until I got older, the quickest way to improve any situation and any relationship is to improve yourself first. So he goes, work on yourself first. He goes, don't wait for somebody else to change. Change what you have to change within yourself for this relationship or this situation, and you will immediately get progress. So when I started to go to church, I started to be more aware of my faults, my shortcomings, or my roles in certain situations.
Right. I get that.
Yeah, and it's as you get. Look, I don't got to tell you. As you get older, you get wiser by accident. Just by
you get wiser, but you forget things.
Forget things. You know what? My birthday's Friday. You know what my gift for my birthday was?
What's that?
I'm going to be 60. Hearing aids.
Why not?
I got hearing aids, and it's ruining my marriage. I can hear everything my wife says now. It's ruining my marriage. My wife wakes up. I thought my wife was saying, "Have a lovely day," right? I got hearing aids. She goes, "Look at you, you loser!" And I'm like, "This is just. I'm gonna end up divorced."
My dad said the same thing. He shut him off as soon as he got him. He was like, "Nope,
Yeah, turn him
not
off.
for me."
Yes.
Big mistake.
Yes, and it was like, and I got married late. I got married at 50.
Right.
And it was like, whoa, I mean, I'm first born in an Italian family, younger brothers and sisters married with kids, showing up every holiday by yourself. I heard the whispers. And it was ugly. You know what I mean?
Johnny. I guess if you ever watch Johnny do it when he's on and he's in front of an audience, he's one of the best. One of the best. And of course, we were reminded of that at your 50th birthday party. And I will tell you this, and the fun, when I say the best, I say it's just the funniest. It makes humor that makes you think, it makes you feel, and I love that. When we left your birthday party, there were so many headlines from your birthday party, by the way. All Alex could talk about on the way home was how wonderful you were.
Thank you.
You were so kind to Alex, and you bundled up next to us. We made out.
Yeah, no, I mean,
we didn't make out.
I have a certain, I guess, reputation. And that really is not who I am. You know what I mean? I mean, like I was on Goomba Johnny on the radio. I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and say, Goomba Johnny, that's not your real name, is it? And I'm like, no, it's a stage name. My real name is Goomba Fred.
A lot of people forget Goomba and RuPaul had the #1 morning show in New York City from
Michelle Visage.
And Michelle Visage.
Yeah, that's right.
Incredible people. Your team had such a huge show in New York City for so long, and I was almost about to come join you guys.
You know what?
No one knows that.
You have no idea, because I never told you this. There was a break in your contract, and there was a break in my contract. And then they were opening up a new radio station, and we both had the same agent. CBS was doing a new radio station, and we were this close to getting an offer of Elvis Duran and Goumba Johnny.
Really? Wow. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I didn't tell anyone that.
He never told us that.
Yeah.
I just know that he used to call the other radio station begging for them to take him.
I know.
I remember that.
Z100 was in the dumps. We were like number 15. And I'm like, oh my God, I have an offer to go work with Goomba Johnny and Michelle Visage and RuPaul. And they're like, nah, you're not going anywhere. I'm like, damn it!
Yeah.
Well,
Danielle, do you remember the time? And because I was at KTU, me and Danielle, we would have to sometimes go out and do interviews together. So remember when we went to the motel to interview Madonna?
Yes.
And we had to wait. They sometimes in sync. I walked out. Oh yeah.
He walked out.
Yeah.
So we had to interview In Sync and Britney Spears, and Britney was on time. She interviewed with all of us.
Yeah.
In Sync, there was a Rockefeller tree lighting. They had to eat before they came out to do the interview. We must have sat there, I'm not even kidding you, 5-6 hours waiting for NSYNC to come.
And with Joey Fatone's parents. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. And we sat and we waited, we chatted with everybody, blah, blah. They eventually came out. He's like, frig this, I'm leaving. He left and I stayed and did the interview.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. All the years that the mileage we all have in this business is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It is nuts.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You've like myself and Danielle or whatever, you've interviewed so many people. I mean, for me personally, when I reflect back on my radio career, I was shocked how many few people left an impact on me. All the years that you were on the radio, who left some kind of impact on you?
There were several.
Yeah?
Probably Lady Gaga. She's always
Lady Gaga impact there.
Yeah.
And you know what? Pharrell sat right next to me in this interview and started talking about the importance of women, not only in his life, but in our lives. And he had me in tears before he was done, because what he had to say about the importance of women and how women really, truly are carrying us all on their backs through this world of ours and this universe. I was like, wow. Do you remember that day?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it was a very, very. I don't know.
Me personally, I was always surprised when these celebrities would walk in. Some of them I had such high expectations for, and I'm like, and they would leave, and I'm like, I can't believe this guy made it.
Right, exactly.
How did this guy make it?
It's so true.
Yeah, and why? I mean, and then other people come in, they're angelic.
Right, and you don't expect anything, and they're like, wow.
You could actually see the aura around them, and you're like, wow, this person every door is open to them. And I always found that interesting in this business.
We've interviewed a lot of people that left deep footprints in our heads. It's all
I
good.
remember interviewing some people where we were like, this person is such an ass.
Yes.
But that doesn't happen very often.
No.
Not very often. But
Well,
every now and then, there's an ass.
I used to have a rule, and I had a rule because I gave everybody the one-time rule, because you're asking people to come in at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. A lot of times they're not at their best, and if they came in and they were just a little off or a little rude, I used to tell everybody, all right, don't worry about it. One time, you don't know what's going on in their life. And then they come in the second time, and I'm like, you're dead.
Well, you're a nice guy. We would never give them a second chance, unfortunately.
Who are the best and the worst?
You know what? Oddly enough, I did a lot with Will Smith as far as appearances and interviews. And what amazed me about Will Smith, and when we did a whole bunch of things at Planet Hollywood, was the scope of his brand. Of all the people that liked him, it was 8 to 80. It was white, brown, yellow.
Right.
He was the most loved human being that I've ever been around in the. I'm talking about universally, in show business. So when I saw that thing on the Oscars, I was like, wow.
That was a strange moment.
That's not the guy I know.
Yeah.
You know
What
I
a
mean?
great guy to interview, though. Back in the day, he
Oh,
was
my God.
awesome. The energy, and he was on.
Yep.
Yeah, and even I would talk to him. I'd talk to him off mic, and he goes, John, I got to tell you something, man. I got to tell you the truth. He goes, my goal was to make a rap video, one rap video, and get on MTV. He goes, no TV shows, no movies, no saving the world, none of that stuff. He goes, that was it. I said, well, you've exceeded that.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But she also asked the worst.
Yeah, who's the worst?
For me?
Yeah.
I'll tell you right away. Christina Aguilera.
We had a little thing with her too.
Yeah. You know what? And I said something, and, Cubby got in touch with me. And I said something, and he goes, way to go, way to go, way to go. And, for Cubby to say that.
Was she mean to Cubby,
You
too?
said something to her?
No, I said something about, that I thought that she didn't have the greatest personality.
And that was early in her career when she first came out.
Yeah, and I think it was like a Britney thing because Christina Aguilera is so talented and she has such a better voice than Britney, but Britney was this package that you could market.
Yeah.
And Britney just blew up, and Christina Aguilera got popular, but she is literally more talented than Britney.
Right.
But
Maybe the Batitude held her back. Nobody likes
Maybe.
that.
And you know what? That's the thing. If you have management that doesn't control that, then... For instance, Christina Aguilera threw a fit in the elevator because she wanted her McDonald's right now. Hey, Scary, what's up?
We hear from a lot of people that they say they've reached an impasse or come to a dead end in their career, and they want to hit the reset button. How did you do it? Like, you did it before you were a comedian, you were in radio, but before that, you did other things.
Yeah,
before you even broke into radio.
Right.
How did you parlay that into radio, then a comedian? And what advice do you have for people?
Wait, are you asking for a friend?
Yeah.
He's asking for a friend.
First of all, I didn't know you were allowed to talk. Okay. So give me a moment to answer that question. All right.
You've done it all. You've been
You made it. Your point has been very well made. You do it all.
Well, I have to say, there's three ways that you could be successful. One is by design, and one is by destiny, and the third one is by a combination of both. I am not that smart. I'm going to be the first to admit it, and everything that has happened to me has been very destiny-like. I never dreamed about or spoke about being a comedian once in my life as a child. I never spoke about being on the radio at all. I never wanted to. I never had any desire. It just kind of happened. And I originally got offered the job on KTU by Frankie Blue. And I said, I don't know, Frankie, I'm running a nightclub in Manhattan right now, and I'm making a lot of money, and I really don't, you're not moving me with the money. I know you don't have any money. I was at the end of the budget. So he just looks at me. I didn't know him. He goes, John, I've been doing this my whole life. He goes, you belong on the radio. This is your life's work. You understand me? You are supposed to be on the radio. He goes, you say hello, and I start laughing. So I went home. He goes, let me know on Monday. And I went home, and I was laying in bed, and I'm like, all right, here's what we know. You don't listen to anybody ever, okay? And it doesn't work, all right? I'm like, I'm having a moment of clarity. I called him up on Monday. I said, I'll take the job.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And then I had my career just blew up. You know what I mean? It's so weird. And, you know, I'll never forget, my mother didn't. My mother used to say, you could teach. You could teach. You don't have to make a jackass of yourself on the radio. Okay?
Thanks,
That's
Mom.
so much more fun.
Mom, I'm here for the save.
Yeah, you have a degree. You have a degree. And this is going on, right? So I go over to my mother's house one day. She goes, you'll never believe what happened. You'll never believe what happened. I said, what happened? She goes, I went to get my hair colored and cut. And he goes, and they found out I was your mother, and they gave it to me for free. And I'm like, that's what makes you think I made it? That you got a free haircut?
Now it affects her personally.
I said, are you kidding me? I said, I introduced Michael Jackson at the Garden a week ago. You thought that was nothing.
I know. Now Mom's on your side.
It's so crazy. I mean, did you go through that with your family? I mean, when, you know.
They always thought it was great because I quit college, and so my dad didn't have to pay for that anymore. I got out of my dad's ass pocket, is how he said it, and they saw it. They saw what we were doing, and they found out one day how much I was making doing this stupid job.
Right.
They're like, "What? Really?" Yeah. And they were like, from then on, they're like, okay, you know something we don't understand. And so here we are.
My mother didn't get it. We would go out for dinner. I'd take my mother and father out for dinner. So the check would come,
of
right?
Course. Yeah, Dad had to pay it.
No, yeah. And the check would come, and my mother would go, Sal, you pick up the check. And my father goes, are you kidding, right? So he goes, no, you pick up the check. He only works 4 hours. My mother thought I had a part-time job. And my father goes, do you know how much money he makes? Do you have any idea? I said, Dad, leave a tip. I know these people, all right? So leave a big tip. And I would walk out. He goes, he's 40 years old. I'm still paying for him. And I would laugh so hard, but my mother was great like that.
Radio's weird. You talk about Gandhi's family.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Gandhi's family, all of these very, very, very prestigious careers they have chosen or they have earned.
Or were forced into because they're Indian, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm the child of Indian immigrants. So when I got a job in radio, they said, oh, that's great. When are you going to get a real job? And they were asking me that until I moved here. And once I've moved here, and now some of their friends hear it, and their friends listen, now they're like, oh.
That's my daughter. That's my daughter.
Yeah. All of a sudden, now they're like, oh, wow, you did something with yourself. Okay, good for you. And I'm like, thanks, guys.
I got to tell you the funniest Indian story. KTU is dance music, and I found out that the Indian community loves dance music.
Oh, yeah?
It's very, very big, and I didn't know that. So while I was doing the KTU appearances and my comedy shows, every comedy show, I would have these 6 Indian guys come, and they were all dressed the same. They looked like scientists on vacation, the dockers and the shirts tucked in and everything.
They probably are.
Right. So, yeah, and they would sit there, hands folded in the front, all 6 of them. So I would watch them. I would do my comedy, and I'm like, they would laugh and then not laugh and not laugh. So I said, let me talk to these guys after the show. So I said, hey, guys, you have a good time when you come? No. We enjoy. So I said, do you get all the jokes? So he goes, Goomba Johnny, Indian people are very smart. He goes, some of your jokes I get today, and some of your jokes I will get tomorrow.
Sounds brilliant to me.
We'll figure it out.
I couldn't stop laughing, but it was and then I got invited to this 10,000 person prayer thing in Edison under a tent. Crazy. The Indian community is huge.
Massive.
Yeah, and especially
most populous country on the planet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you're loved by all. Goomba, you're the best. Hey, we got to talk about Belmore.
No.
Belmore, what, no?
Yes, I'm going to, tonight.
I think you said no.
No. Tonight, I'm going to be at the Brokerage Comedy Club in Belmore, 8 o'clock show. And tomorrow night is a very special night. I'm going to be in a theater at the Avenel Theater in Avenel, New Jersey, and I'm working with two really funny women, Peaches Rodriguez and Debbie Baza. So I love working with women in comedy, like when I do my own shows without Anthony, because I feel that there's a lot of funny women out there that don't get their opportunity. And I think it's a great balance because I come off on stage very masculine. And I like to work with two women. And there are a lot of good female comics out there that you are not aware of, that you haven't heard of.
So how do we get to your shows? I mean, where do we go online to find all the info?
You've got to have some kind of transportation first.
Okay, that's that.
So all right. Get an Uber or maybe if you get an Uber, you'll find his luggage.
Okay, all right.
Can you imagine that? So. If you called an Uber and you got in and in the back seat was Scary's bag?
I would love that.
How funny would that be?
I would hold on to that for a year or two.
Now, would you leave it there or take it home?
I would take it with me. This is my friend's luggage. I would bring it to you, Scary.
Take pictures of it and leave it on the internet. Torture him.
Look what I saw. Hold it for hostage.
No, tonight I'm going to be at the brokerage. There's tickets available. You go to governor.com or just show up and pay at the door. The Avenel Performing Arts Center, you can call them or go there. But all the information is on my Instagram, at Goomba Johnny, and Instagram. I'm not really that good at social media. Goumba.
Thank you, sir.
Johnny, Johnnny.
Goomba Johnny.
And once again, you spoke without permission. That's 2 strikes.
My God, he's getting used to it. I will tell you this. Even if you're not in the area and you can't make it to the show, please, you got to follow Goomba Johnny. Yeah. He's got a lot of stuff on there, and he's just a great guy. I love this text. I just love this guy. So we assume they don't know who you are. I don't know. Hold on.
What? Yeah.
No, let me finish. I just love this guy. He is such a sweet, good, genuine soul. What a gem.
Oh,
thank you.
Nice.
They love you.
Yeah, it's my wife wrote that. I got to tell you.
I don't think she would say that. But anyway.
No, it's thank you for having me up here. I mean, I love Danielle and her husband and her family. I mean, just to see you on your 50th. I don't know if you realize how loved you are.
Oh, I feel very blessed.
People love you, and I think it's disgusting.
Nice.
What a great way to end our time with Goomba Johnny. Follow him at Goomba Johnny all over the place. Thank you for coming in today. We love you.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.